Thoughts on the Superman flying clip released yesterday. If CGI isn't done on a film yet, why release it when it looks unpolished and goofy, in my honest opinion? James Gunn saying it's all real, no CGI is silly too. So if you don't know what he's referring to, they released a clip, or they released a TV spot for Superman yesterday. And there's just a couple of new shots in there, and one of them is of Lex Luthor, like getting out of a helicopter or something like that with sunglasses on. And the other one, the one that has gotten the internet talking, is of Superman flying. And people are kind of split on it, because if you take the clip from the perspective of how it's portraying Superman flying, not the VFX, not the look of it, but like how it's portraying him flying. It's like him kind of joyously having fun, and he's doing barrel rolls flying between mountains. It's the sort of thing that it's like, it evokes the sense of fun and joy of Superman being a hero that, you know, Man of Steel, Superman Returns were more brooding takes on the character. And so you get this joyous version of him cinematically in like barrel rolls. They said that they wanted to take inspiration from Top Gun Maverick. And you kind of see that, of like that sort of excitement of, there's a little bit kind of behind him over the shoulder, and he goes through this canyon and flips over, and it cuts to his face, and it just, you know, feel very present, moving very quickly. So there's something to be excited there. But there's the other side to it. When it cuts to the shot of his face, it doesn't look great. It looks weird. Like, there's something off with his face. So some people have described it as it looks like a deep fake of David's face onto whoever did the stunt or something like that. It just has that kind of uncanny valley with his eyes and the way the face looks. James Gunn then responded over the internet, and he said, no, there's not like a CGI thing here. That's him. And different people's faces look differently when you're getting wind blown in your face and all the different things that cause that. Like, he just looks a little bit different. And we're using a wide angle lens. So if you put a wide angle lens in someone's face, their face looks a little bit different. And then the stuff behind that is also real photography of our guy that was flying around. I don't know, with the drones or whatever, but it's real photography. And so we just mashed the two together. So he said, like, no, I mean, this isn't CGI face or anything like that. That's just him, wide angle lens. And, you know, sometimes there's distortion when you do that. And that's true. Like I shot videos over the weekend on my phone using the wide angle lens, because I was like in interesting locations and with the hotel I was at and out in public. So, and I needed it. Wasn't using any fancy mic, so I had it close to my face, and I wanted the environment to be seen, so it was real close to my face with a wide angle lens. So immediately people are commenting, dude, your hair looks super tall. Right, because it was a wide angle lens, so it did that to my hair. I have very tall hair always, and as soon as you put a fisheye on it, it goes whoop, and it bends it further from the middle of the frame all the way up to the top. So there's a distortion that happens. And there's some other ones where took pictures of myself in a suit, and people are like, wow, you look really skinny. It's like, well, I had lost some weight. I was a little skinnier. Also, the lens just did me some favors. There's distortion. That is 100% true. But is that really what we're seeing here? I don't really know. To the comment here, the specific question, if the CGI isn't done yet, why release it when it looks unpolished and goofy? So I think this is one of the big questions that kind of goes on with a lot of, like, this is one of these things that comes up all the time of, why do they release trailers when there's effects that don't look quite right? But, and they're always, oh, I mean, it's unfinished. We have 6 months to finish the movie. It's going to look better when it comes out. They say that all the time. I don't feel like whenever that happens that, like, there's this big change in quality. Like, I don't know what other people what they're thinking is changed or fixed or whatever. Generally speaking, when I see bad effects in trailers, there's not a big improvement when you get to the final version in the movie. Sometimes they look better on the big screen versus compressed for YouTube or whatever. I think a bigger issue that happens with effects than, we just need a little bit more time to polish it up, is they just chose a bad way to do it, or they chose something that has a consequence, that something looks off about it. Like when you choose a good way to do an effect and you're doing it right, like the creator from a year and a half ago, the trailers that came out 6 months before the movie came out, everyone watched them and went, oh, that looks incredible. And we watched the movie and went, oh, that looked incredible. Like everything's believable. You didn't watch the first trailers for Dune 1 and 2 and go, these unpolished effects. Oh, but they finished them for the final version. No, they looked good in every single version of it. They always looked fantastic because they were shot right. They chose the right way to do the effect, and therefore they always looked good. And I think a lot of times when you have bad visual effects, when you have something that looks off, they chose a bad technique. They chose something that wasn't going to work. Whether you're talking about Alien Romulus with Ian Holm on the table, they chose to do it in a way that just was always going to have an uncanny valley. And putting a fisheye lens on a person's face, whether that's him and they're blowing a fan on his face, but doing a little bit of this stuff, and it just inherently is something that is too unnatural for us to buy into it. It's just weird. Because when was the last time you were with one of your friends who was flying and you were a foot in front of them? like immediately you go, right, we're seeing something incredibly unnatural. And your brain knows it's unnatural. And so that's where the uncanny kind of valley stuff comes in, that you have to find a way to cut through that. It's a real person doing something a real person just can't do. It's something's off. And so there's this flapping of the face at those speeds that is what has to happen, but that doesn't mean it looks right. So there was continued discussion of him being like, some people proposing, Grace Randolph proposed, maybe they need to use CGI to make him look less weird if that is his actual face. So they did a practical thing with his real face, and we're going to use CGI to make his face look like his real face, which is hilarious. But I think there's a thought there that makes sense of sometimes things look unnatural, and you like to the human eye, because we just like you change it. Not because it's the actual believable, real thing that would happen. You change it so that people can buy into it. Because we've never been right in front of a person flying before. But yeah, I mean, I thought the shot looked kind of strange. Like, I feel both things at the same time of like the fun of like this him flying and twisting through it. Like, there's that. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I went, that's not so cool with the face. Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month. For $2 per month, $20 per year, you can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams. For $5 per month, you get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.